Hello, welcome back. I'm Denise Frasino. Over the several years that I've been interviewing men and women from World War II, some of them just spring to the top for their bravery and their deeds. And this next man that you're going to see, who was nicknamed Artillery Joe for a very good reason, has a story about landing in the first wave of D-Day that is absolutely heart-wrenching. So please, listen carefully and remember those men and women who fought for us.
On D-Day?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, what they did, Patton was all done with North Africa. They had them all shut off. The gas was all done. And in the Mediterranean, down on the southern part, I guess it is, it was the island of Sicily. Well, Second Armored went in there and took that. And then when we took that, they split us up. Half of the Second Armored went up Italy, went through up Italy, and it was to go up on the country up there and help stop them taking that country. And we went to England. The second part of the Second Armored went to England. And so when we were in England, we were there about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or maybe a little more, I don't know, somewhere around that there. They took 2 men from our company, but I mean they broke up the second, or the B company. They took 2 men out and put 2 men in the barge that they were going to go across to fight, because the kids, we were in the barges, they were just out of boot camp. We were in the war. We knew what it was like, all the firepower and noise and everything. So they took 2 of us out and put us in with the kids to keep the kids quiet, because they were crying and then in England at that time the Germans were shooting all those buzz bombs, and they would come over and land down in London and all around that, and it scared the kids to death. They didn't know what it was all about, see? Had no idea what they were getting into. Then when we went across on D-Day, they had those ducks, see? And we got across, and I told the kids, be quiet, don't worry, you'll be okay. You just got to get used to it. And when we landed, they had that big wire across. All across the whole works there, that, to stop people for anybody to go across. Well, where we landed on Omaha Beach, the Germans thought we were going to land up in Belgium, or up in what you call it, the country above there. It's all level, flat, see? And the rivers come down and come into the ocean there. That's where they had all their equipment. Well, we landed down here.
By the cliffs.
The cliffs and the rocks and then the Omaha Beach and that. And so when they laid down that front of that barge on top of that metal there, why then it was hard to get through, for the guys to get through. And the tide was coming in, and they were an hour late or 2 hours late, and the kids had to get off, and the kids had their duffel bags and everything. I said, you just leave them. You don't need that. You don't need that. You just got what you got on. Take your raincoat, and that's it. That's all you could have. And we got off and tried to get off, but so many of them got scared, and they were crying, and they were, instead of listening to the other fella and they started jumping off over into the water and didn't realize that water is deep, and they were drowning. Well, what could we do? We couldn't get out there and get them, because they can't get through that wire, see? If they just hold off a little bit, and we tried to stop them, but they were just, shook up and mad and didn't know what to do. That's what you go through, see? Mm-hmm. We did what we could, try to stop them. But they were poor kids. they were, in trading, they don't take them out and shoot the guns off and all that noise and everything. And of course, the government made a big mistake. What they did, they dropped all that smoke, those bombs, with smoke, so the Germans wouldn't see us. When we landed, they didn't want the Germans to see us. They had all that smoke. It was so thick you couldn't see nothing. And then you didn't, when the fall got here, you get out in it, you don't know where you're at. See, are you going uphill or sideways or where? See? And I thought that was terrible. They shouldn't have done that. And if they'd have left that smoke just a little bit now and then, certain places, then, because those pillboxes, they got openings in them. They've got big openings across the whole thing. And that's where the guys are. Well, if we were down here and we start shooting with the cannons and everything they're doing, shooting into those pillboxes, the Germans in there were down. They're going to hide down in the bottom, below the concrete, below that hole. And then we could have went right through. But all that smoke, so the Germans saw us coming. And that's where we lost a lot of men over that. There was only 3 of us that got through. Out of that whole barge, there's only about 40 guys, 35, 40 guys in that barge. And they didn't make it. There was just bodies laying all over.
Breathtaking, isn't it? Just stops your heart. All the loss and the bravery and the sure will to simply continue to fight. So again, thank you for joining me, and do come back. I'll be having more of Joe. He's interesting, what he went on to do. So again, on the 75th anniversary of D-Day, remember those men and women, and do come back. Thank you.